here we are, this is who we are.
Welp, here we are on YouTube. Thanks everybody for joining us here because this is the place where magic happens. And we're cooking with fire today, Ryan. I can't.
Cooking with fire.
It's the name of the song.
Oh,
Sorry. This is of course Miguel, who has suggested or has requested Heart. Miguel has been with us for a long time, for the longest of any patron on our channel.
Yeah, the longest for sure. Yeah.
Huge Heart fan. So this time Miguel has given us some histories. As you know, Heart was founded in 1967. When Nancy joined the band in 1974, she and co-founder lead guitarist Roger quickly became a couple. Their relationship lasted 5 years until Nancy ended it in 1979 due to Roger's infidelity. Roger, why?
I don't know.
It's Nancy, for Pete's sakes.
I know. She was gorgeous.
This caused significant problems for the band, leading Steve, Mike, Ann, and Howard to vote Roger out of the band. Okay, Nancy abstained from the vote. Yeah.
That's interesting. I find that interesting that she didn't cast the vote. She let the band members say, which is kind of my guess is Miguel doesn't say it's like, hey, he and I are broken up. We've had our issues, but creatively, like if you vote to keep him in, I'll do it for the like Fleetwood Mac styling, right? That's what they did.
Sure.
You know? We're broken up, but if we want to stay together as a band for the art, we'll do it. But it looks like they kind of took Nancy's side a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. So following Roger's dismissal in October 1979, Ann and Nancy swiftly took control of the band, which did not sit well with Steve and Mike. Howard remained neutral.
All right.
By 1982, tensions between Mike, Steve, and the sisters reached a breaking point. After completing their 7th studio album, Mike and Steve discovered that Ann and Nancy were attempting to fire them from Heart. Rather than deal with the conflict, Mike and Steve decided to leave the band.
So that's great. You know what? We knew there was tensions and weirdness and all this stuff. So that actually explains it very well.
Good. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Howard departed in 1995 when Ann and Nancy chose to put Heart on hiatus. Although they invited him to return when the band resumed, he declined. There's some Heart history. So this is 1978. This is live, this Cook with Fire. So this is like right before, the year before Nancy.
At this time, Nancy and Roger are, shagging in the sheets.
Yes.
Everything's
Roger's
good.
Shagging somebody else in the sheets.
He might be at the same time, but he's at least Anne's unaware. Okay. Yeah. There we go. So this is a live performance, which is kind of cool.
that context before this really got my brain thinking about, what's going on here. They already made it. Like Heart's already like in the Hall of Fame and all that stuff. They're fantastic band, but there's always that feeling like, but what could they have possibly become? Well, there was so much potential. As I was listening to that song, I'm like, there's lots of parts to that song that are really great. But now that I know the context here, you can tell there's egos fighting each other there, right? You could barely hear until you like really focus on the harmonica. Like
Nancy
playing the harmonica, you couldn't really like.
Yeah, might have been a mixing thing, but who knows? Yeah.
I mean, I know the audio wasn't great. What we were listening there, the live audio back in the 70s, it was hard to get great live audio, but like it's still, you can hear all these like components that sound so good together, and you wonder, right, what would have been like had the Eagles been stripped out of it, if there was like full on everybody going like, let's just leave it, let's just like work together, anyway. No, I enjoyed the sound. I loved that. Like, sorry, I loved that. Like, just chunky bass. The dun, 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 dun. Like, everything about that song was great. ... There's. I get the feeling there's probably, in some alternate universe, an even better version of that song.
Okay, interesting. I'm going to meet you halfway. I agree with everything you're saying about the potential of the band, and this is an issue that we've experienced, or of any fandom that we have of certain bands, even though I'm currently fans of, where you wonder what would the band have been like had so-and-so not left, had they not broken up, had they put their egos at the door. I agree with everything you're saying. I agree with everything. And that's actually, not only do I agree with you, I was thinking the same thing watching this. It's really cool to watch, sort of like the original lineup. I know they formed in 68 without the sisters, but their first album had the sisters. And I always go by that. That's my criteria for original lineup. Is I go by who was the first lineup on the first studio album, because bands come and go. People, I gotta go, because you hear all the time that Buddy was the bass player for whatever band. But he's like, guys, this isn't going anywhere. I gotta go teach, and you hear about that, and then a year later, the biggest band in the world. That stuff happens all the time. So yes, Buddy might have been the original bass player, but he wasn't on the studio album. That's how I always look at it, as what was because this is when you introduce yourself to the world. Is here is our LP. This is our song. Yeah, okay. So Heart, as a band with the sisters, that they've all been together since their first studio album. And I say this because by the time this album came out, Nathan, this was their 70. This was their fourth studio album that the song was on, and looks like this was the tour after that album, called A Dog and a Butterfly. And we've done a couple songs from this.
I know that song.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I think you might have mentioned that in one of our reactions, but we did. I forget which song. Oh, we did Mistral Wind. We did that one. It was a great song.
Oh yeah,
and I believe a great song. I think they played at the tour still to this day. So this is a great song. Cook with Fire is such a cool sounding song. And so the thought occurred to me, here's their fourth studio album as a band. They're firing all cylinders. This is the original lineup. And there's a part of you where your heart gets broken a little bit, because you're like, too bad, like, the bedroom activities didn't get in the way. Whatever it is, or they could have buried okay, we slept together, whatever. But he had to step out. It's always got to be the drama that wrecks these. It's always like Fleetwood Mac went through this, and other bands who break up, goes, I don't like you, even though they'll be like incredible music. The Eagles, speaking of Eagles, they had all these bands with these clashing of personalities, from the Beatles to today. People just can't. I think what the problem is with art, and the more I listen to like podcasts and stuff with artists and creators, everyone wants to have a voice, and everyone's voice is important, and everyone thinks that their voice is the one that makes the record or whatever, the movie, the TV show, whatever it is. And it's like, that's a collaborative effort. We're the best. It's okay to challenge each other, push each other, absolutely, but once you take away that member, it's never the same. We could have a whole podcast episode listing all the bands where they weren't the same anymore, even when it's just the rhythm guitar. Quickly, Guns N' Roses, Izzy Stradlin. When he left the band was never the same. They have never been the same. And it's crazy how much the team is at the beginning. Anyway, so when I get a new partner on my channel, people say, Welp's not the same. It's not the same without her.
You didn't know that you were planning on that. So, the seed is
awkward.
Planted. So
the seed, it'll be called Welp. Here's Ryan on YouTube. All right. No. Then you'll start your own channel. Well, I too, Nathan, am on YouTube.
Well, I couldn't take Ryan any longer.
All right. Long way of me saying, Miguel, I really love this performance song, and I really hope or wish there's like a pro shot concert of this. Like I would love to see that whole show.
Right. Yeah. Because it would be fantastic.
All right.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, that was fun. Thanks everyone for joining us. Thanks Miguel once again for keeping
always killing
the heart alive. And as for the rest of you, we'll see you in the next one.